Yes, you heard it right. I became a digital marketer and owner of a digital marketing agency called Squash Code by an accident. And today I'll be sharing my story here in the stage. So in our life, some good accidents and bad accident often happens. But thanks to God, some good accidents happened with me, which made my life better. So let's start from the beginning. I was a ninth years old kid when I was in my sixth standard, and I was making 2-3 thousand rupees every month by selling video game CDs. So back in that time, we didn't used to have smartphone or computer games to play any kind of fancy games. So we used to play the games on our televisions all the day. But after a certain time, I realized that I have finished most of the games which I already have, and I wanted new games. But my parents are not buying me immediately. So I sold few of my games to my friends and collected some money, and then I bought some second-hand CDs. And in that way, the idea clicked in my mind that why don't I sell it? Why don't I buy second-hand games of other people and sell it to some of my other friends who are in my school? And obviously, that time there was no concept of OLX and Quicker. So I was doing it like a single platform, and I was making a good profit out of it. So after a few years, when I was in my 10th standard, then I started a content writing internship. That was my first official earning, actually, and they used to pay me only rupees 300 per article. Yeah, I know that is a quite less amount of money, but they used to pay me 300 rupees for such a long moving article, which I used to write back in that time. But my parents were very much happy with me because I have started earning something at a very young age in my 10th standard on. And then I didn't have any plan of becoming a businessman or entrepreneur from my childhood. And one sudden day, I watched a video of uh, Bill Gates and other famous entrepreneurs like Dhirubhai Ambani, and it inspired me a lot. So I decided I want to be an entrepreneur. But back in that time, I'm talking about a time of 2015, then this word was not so much popular like nowadays because most of my friends uh, wanted to be doctor, engineer, musicians, and all the things. But when I said them, I want to be an entrepreneur, they said, "What's that? I never heard about it." But when I told my mom and dad I want to start my own business, they said, "No, you cannot. You should not." Although I'm belonging from a business family, but still they didn't want me to run my own business because they said, okay, study, focus on your study, get a degree, get a job, settle in your life, preferably a government job. And after the age of 40, you may start your own business when you are settled. But then I thought, I heard it somewhere that if we start early, we have more opportunities. Then why should I waste my time and wait till 40 years old and then starting up something? Why don't I start something right now? So that's how I thought I should start right away. But it's not that much easy. From where should I start? There was nobody to guide me. There was nobody to mentor me. Then I thought, okay, so I talked with some of my friends and we started a music channel in YouTube, which later became a platform where we wanted that all the popular singers and everyone will be listed there, and the common people for any events they can directly get in touch with them and book them for any events. And that time I got a chance to work with many popular playback singers from the Bollywood and Tollywood. But eventually the idea failed. And the biggest reason behind that was the managers of those singers because they didn't want us to make that platform, because if we make that platform they are going to be jobless because ultimately the platform is going to all of their job. So then they started denying the meetings and everything. So eventually my friends quit from that startup and I had to close down that startup, but they left me with a huge debt. And that time I was just backing up the startup with my mother's money, but I couldn't ask more money from my mother to cover up that debt. I borrowed some money from one of my friend, and that time I was not in a situation to pay him back within a few months. So it took me almost a year to repay him back with my content writing work, because I used to get paid around only 300 rupees. So after almost 1 year to 2 years, when I was in the 12th standards, after almost 2 years, then I thought, okay, let's start another startup. It's time to start something new once again. So then I feel motivated and started another food delivery startup named Tasty Rides. And now Tasty Ride is basically was a food delivery startup for the tier two cities. Back in that time, Swiggy and Zomato was ruling the entire tier one cities of Kolkata, Bangalore, and all the places. But I used to belong from a tier two city that is outside of Kolkata, but there was no concept of food delivery. So I thought we can cover up that demand gap and we can start something new from here. But I made my second mistake in my life that point, because I didn't make enough research and analysis before entering to the market. I just directly jumped into that market with two of my friends. It took almost 1 month and we got no orders. We were depressed, we were hopeless because we are not getting any orders. We were waiting for calls, but there was no calls. Then after 1 month, I thought there is something missing, must be. So we should have a website. We should have a digital marketing strategy or something like that. So we can show the menu to other people and then they can order anything they like. And then I contacted some of the web development companies and asked how much they will charge for making a website for a food delivery company. And some of them said, I will charge 25,000, 35,000, 40,000. And we will be like, oh my God, who has that money? Because obviously we were I've just passed out my 12th standard and I didn't have any money that time. Obviously, I cannot pay 25,000 to someone to make a website. Then I said, okay, let's see what we can do. And after a few days, I did some initial research and I found out how we can make websites by our own. Then I learned a few things and I started. And then I told my partners that don't worry, I will make the website myself and I will show you. Just give me 1 week time. Yeah, of course, we cannot learn programming in just 1 year, 2 weeks, because people are spending years and years for learning programming knowledge, languages and everything. But I learned WordPress and other tools. Using that, we made a website and it was a good looking website. And that worked out. We started getting orders. We were getting 100 orders daily. But but before that, we got the first order, but we are not getting that much order. So we thought again something is missing. So we found we are not doing the marketing, because obviously we are not from the marketing background. Even we are not from any background, because we were just a 12th past students. And in any school of, actually I belong from the Ramakrishna Mission, but even any school of India, nobody teaches about marketing to a 10th or 12th standard student. I knew physics, chemistry, biology, and everything, but I had nothing to do with that in my startup because I wanted to do marketing. So I didn't have any concept about that. Then I learned digital marketing by my own from Udemy and other self-study platform. And then I applied those digital marketing formulas in my food delivery startup and started getting more and more orders. And then I improved my website as well. I learned about how UI and UX can affect a conversion funnel. And we started getting 100 orders almost. And we also got selected as the top 50 startup by BITS Pilani. And we also got a chance of seed funding from an angel investor. But eventually, that startup also didn't become successful. Due to some conflict of interest, the team got broken. My teammates left, my partners left in the between. And again, I was alone. I tried to continue the startup for a few more months, but eventually I had to close it. And again, I was in debt like last time. But this time, the debt was much higher. I had to repay back to many people. And now I didn't have the money. And if I have to rely on that content writing work, then it would take me almost maybe 5 years to repay the whole money. So obviously I couldn't rely on that 300 rupees work. So I thought I need to earn something. And then I thought the things which I have learned during this entire process, web development, digital marketing, why don't I use it for gathering more money? Then I started freelancing in web development and digital marketing. And that time I had one advantage that most of the web development companies outside there or the digital marketing companies outside there, they didn't work on a startup from a very close perspective. So they didn't know what are the missing elements in a startup which can increase the sales. But I knew that which factors can drive the sales, which factors can affect the entire conversion funnel, which color of the button can change the number of orders in a website. So I applied all of those formulas and I started working with many MSME companies. And then they liked my work. And slowly from that, after a few months, I started making 50,000 plus money in a single month from freelancing. So I started making money and then I repaid all the debt I had. And then I thought, well, let's continue this. Let's forget about the startup concept as of now. Let me continue my freelancing thing because I'm earning 50,000 and I was in the first year of my college. And then then the more work started coming up and I had to distribute the work. So I tried finding out more and more people like me who are having expertise in their niche. And then we build a team of freelancers who used to take more projects. And slowly from a team of freelancers, we became an agency. And then we started working with big level companies. And from that time, I never looked back in my life. And now after 3 years, we have worked with more than 200 plus companies from Australia, America, UK, UAE, from different countries across the globe. And we have generated more than 2 million plus of revenue. We have a turnover of 8 figures and a team of total 30 plus people. And now we are running the company very successfully. That's how from a failed startup, from two failed startup, made one successful company. And now I am here. Thank you, Visali, and thank you, LW Academy, for inviting me today.
Thank you, Sagar, for a very interesting talk. So the first thing you can talk about is how did you manage to keep your team the last time? 2 बार तो ब्रेक हो गया टीम, तीसरे बार कैसे ब्रेकअप को बचाया आपने?
Yeah, so that is a very good question. Actually, after breaking up, like after a team got broken 2 times, then I really became very depressed. I thought like, really, I cannot do that. Maybe I'm not a good leader, or maybe I'm not a good teammate. Then actually, when I started this Squash Code company, I started alone. I was working as a freelancer. Then I hired a few more freelancers, and then I started alone. And still, I'm the single owner of the company. I don't have any partner. So this time, I didn't look after any friends to join with me, or I didn't go in the market posting everywhere. I'm looking for a co-founder, co-founder, and co-founder because I thought, let me start now, and then once my company is bigger, more people will come. And now automatically all of the employees of Squash Code, they are like my partners because I never treat them as the employee of Squash Code. They are like the family. They are the part of Squash Code family. And that's how it went.
Sure, that sounds good. Not to have multiple partners probably at the beginning at times. Uh, so even your teammates, इनको hire किया, okay, Kamal ma'am, you want to ask, please?
Yeah, how old were you when you opened when you started your first company? Maybe I missed that.
That time I was 15 years old.
Wow. And the
I
second
was
one?
in 10th standard.
So
10th
slowly we'll
standard.
know your
And the
age.
second one? No, that's really good. And the second one?
And the second one, that time I was around 17 years old.
Wow. Very good. Very interesting and very inspiring also.
Thank you.
So how did you manage the coding part? Because you said you didn't know anything, and then how did I mean? Okay, tell us more about that.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So even apart from the startups and everything, from the childhood, I was a technical, like I was a technical person. I always used to read about technical blogs, how softwares are working and everything. So when I was in the seventh grade standard, and that time I was working with mobile softwares. Now softwares which we use in our mobile, it is calling as the operation software or OS. Just give me one moment. I think there is some problem in my mind.
It's okay. We can hear you.
Yeah. So sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. So that time I used to work with my mobile ways and everything. And then when I thought I need to build a website, so I need to learn about how website is built. That time I didn't know about domain hosting and all these things. Actually, I saw an ad of GoDaddy, and then it called GoDaddy that you are advertising, you are offering website at 99 rupees. So can you give me a website at 99 rupees? And then they laughed hard and said that is not a website. That is the domain name. That is the address of your website. You need to purchase host separately, and they need to hire someone for developing a website separately. Then I understood the concept of hosting, domain, what are the called CMAs, what is HTML, CSS, what is pairing, merging, and all the things. What is called as a e-commerce? What is exactly UI UX? How UI UX can affect your landing page views or affect your conversion. And that's how I learned about it from Google, because I believe that Google is the biggest open source library where we can find lots of things to learn. And that's how I learned everything. And slowly I started learning, and then I getting more projects, and every project used to be like challenge for me. And then I started discussion researching about a certain feature, like how we can embed that feature. If I see any feature in Amazon, Flipkart, or any big companies, and then I started researching about that, how we can implement that feature, how I can develop that feature. And that's how I learned about everything.
So you're a self learner. Like even the engineering, the software part, you learned on your own.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyone else who want to add something? Atul sir, you want to ask something or comment something, please?
No, I think it's very inspiring. One question I have is, कि अभी, how many people are you have in the team?
We have around 30 plus people right now in the Score team.
And all of them employees? कि you also have few like co-founders in your team?
No, all of them are employees, and I'm the single founder of this company.
अच्छा, ठीक है. तो नहीं, I think I'm good. और group में just wanted to share कि any of you already are on Clubhouse? विशाल जी?
Not me. Not yet.
अच्छा, नहीं तो चूंकि because one observation, I've been in Zoom calls for the last maybe more than a year, but I'm seeing that a lot of conversations have started to shift from from Zoom to Clubhouse. So just wanted to share that. Abhi, they're still ramping up, but I think I see as a future technology, since many of the entrepreneurs here, Clubhouse is where the future conversations are going. So right from TED Talk to all those big conferences, most of the conferences are slowly moving towards Clubhouse. So just wanted to share with the group.
Sure. So right now, these 30 employees. Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Yes, please.
So how what is your plan going forward? I just wanted to, but if it's current plan, Vishalji, you can go ahead with the question, because I wanted to just check like
No, that's fine.
what is
Yeah.
he planning.
Yeah. So what's your future plan, Sagar? Yeah.
So currently we have two offices in Kolkata, one at Behala and Amtola. And we are also planning to open another office in UK, because we have most of the clients from UK, London area. We have worked with more than 200 plus companies so far. And our next target to achieving 500 plus companies or 500 plus projects by the next year. with a revenue of almost 2x from now and expanding the team to 100 plus people.
So what kind of strategy you follow? Like, so first you want to target the developed economies, or like, what is your growth plan?
My first initial growth plan is working with mostly the foreign countries like US and UK. And as well as I also want to work with the Indian MSME companies. And I have already worked with most of the MSME companies and some of the startups which I have worked with, they've got funded and now they are operating in many other places. So my main focus is to work with those companies where I can see the scope of growth where I can work with them, we can work with them and we can make them big, we can increase their revenue. So even we select the companies which are going to be our client very wisely and we look for a certain factor. So whether their idea is valuable or not, whether the product is scalable or not, then we use our growth hacking strategies to make them big.
So you just do digital marketing for them, or you provide more services?
We are specialized in digital marketing and we also provide web and app development because web and app development is a major factor when it comes to digital marketing. Because when I have worked with many companies and due to their bad landing pages or due to the bad UI of their application, the conversions are not happening. Then we realized that UI is also something we need to consider. And that's how we mostly offer the digital marketing and web and app development. But apart from that, we also provide the graphic designing and content writing services as well.
Mhm. So how do you pitch to your clients? Like you go and you pitch, or you have a team?
Actually, I have a team for that. In the initial stage, in the initial years, I used to pitch them directly. I used to make a presentation by myself and I used to research about the company. Then I used to make a PPT. Then I used to pitch them. Now I have a complete team for that. We have the sales team for that. And then they do the work.
Okay.
Okay, Abhirup, you wanted to say something?
Yes, sir. Yeah, hi Sagar.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. Yeah, can you tell me more about those internal conflicts which happened in our second startup, like due to which you all got separated, whether it is
Like
monetary or
both
something else?
startups, first as well as
It's like,
second.
okay,
Yeah.
specifically I want to know about the second.
Yeah, that time actually my concept was that I didn't want to charge anything from the customers because I believed in the strategy of Reliance Jio. First, make it a habit, then start earning revenue from it. And obviously, in a tier two cities, nobody is used to with the food ordering thing because they never ordered food online. They used to go to a restaurant and take away some foods. Then I said, we need to convince those people that you are getting the same food at the same price at your home. And then after a few months, we can obviously charge them a nominal amount, maybe 20 rupees, 30 rupees, like Swiggy is doing nowadays. But my teammates and my partner started saying that no, we want to charge them 50 rupees right away, straight away. And we want to work with even the small like deliveries. Like if even if they want to ordered like a 10 rupees, 20 rupees egg roll, we will deliver them and we'll charge them 50 rupees delivery charges on top of that. And I said, nobody is going to pay you 50 rupees delivery charge for a product of 20 rupees. So we should definitely not do that because that will lose entire customer base and will be bankrupt. But they didn't listen, and then many more things came up in between. Then they said that my strategies are wrong, and other things came up, even related to the monetary things, and that's how it went wrong.
I got it.
Yeah.
So when this thing was happening, the conflict between your teammates, I mean, there would be like, did you split equity equally, or there was an unequal split of equity that time?
It was equally split.
Equal.
Yeah, it was equally split.
Okay, okay. So do you think equal split of equity can be a reason of conflict, because now everyone is, almost equally powered with almost, I
think
mean,
different split of equality, different split of equity, that is another problem, because then they started feeling like that they are being neglected. They are giving reports, but I am a major shareholder. And then they started saying like, they will be starting saying like that, no, you are taking control of all the things because you are a major shareholder. So that's why I thought like that, okay, split it equally, because that time we didn't have any thought about equities and all these things. I wanted to focus on the business model and the revenue model. I was not concerned about all these things.
yeah. So do you think like at that age, 17, 18, it's probably not so easy to think about this equity split, कि बाद में जाके कितना प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, दे दो, लाइक दोस्त हैं, साथी हैं, बाद में छोड़ भी गए, और ऊपर से देयर वाज अ डेट लेफ्ट टू यू, राइट? आई मीन इवन इफ पीपल लीव देन डेट हैज टू
Yes.
बी इक्वली स्प्लिटेड, सो दैट डिडंट हैपन, राइट?
Yeah, that didn't happen. They left, but all the debt I had to recover because I was the face of that company. Everyone knew me. That's the main problem.
Yeah, that's the reason the equity probably shouldn't be equally splitted, because probably there will always be one person working more than the other people, I mean comparatively. And there could be, I think, some kind of MOU or something that okay, we'll put some hours, और जिसका ज़्यादा घंटा होगा आगे चल के 1 महीने 2 महीने बाद, then we'll probably do a ratio split or something, uh, something like that. I mean, like a futuristic split rather than split on the very day one. What do you think, Sagar, about this? Are you there? I think he got he joined back. Okay, let's hear from another person maybe. Uh, what what do you guys think about this equity split? Acha, okay, Sagar is back. I think back. Yes.
Yeah,
So question
yeah.
was कि equal versus unequal शुरू में ही डिसाइड करना चाहिए या आगे करना था, और rather what could you have done different to actually not go through that process? I mean, होने के बाद क्या लगा कि कैसे बचा जाए इस तरह के ब्रेकअप से?
I think it's all about choosing the right teammate or right partner. What I did wrong, and I just like, there is a concept like best friends always cannot be the best partners in business. फ्रेंडशिप पे वो सही होता है, फ्रेंडशिप में बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स रहते हैं हम लोग. तो then I didn't saw any other things like why I should choose them as the partner. I thought we are best friends and we can be a good partner as well, but I didn't saw that whether they are actually interested in that idea or not, whether they are really passionate like me, whether they want to be a businessman or not. Maybe they want to do some job, but I'm just insisting them that, okay, come with me because I'm starting something and you are my friend. So that's what we should concern for. We should always find the people who are equally passionate as you are and who shares the same interest as you have. Yeah, obviously conflict of interest will come even in many big companies. In board of directors meeting, many conflict of interest comes, but all of those people are concerned about only one thing. They want to grow that company. But in my team, they didn't know what they want in their life. Because after a certain time, then they started saying that, see, like सिर्फ तेरे कहने से मैं इस बिजनेस में आ गया, मुझे तो बिजनेस करना ही नहीं है, मुझे तो जॉब करना है. मेरा डैड बोल रहा है कि जॉब करने के लिए मैं अभी पढ़ाई में फोकस करना चाहता हूँ, ये सब कुछ छोड़ना चाहता हूँ. भाई तू करना चाहते तो कर बिजनेस, मेरे को जाना है इधर से. That's the thing. They were not serious enough about that. And that's what I did the mistake. So for any other entrepreneurs, I will suggest that choose your partner, choose your teammate wisely. Otherwise, go alone. And rest of the people will join later when they see that revenue are coming up.
Mhm. श्योर, बट ये ना कहना तो बहुत आसान है कि फाइंड पीपल एज पैशनेट एज यू. आई थिंक इवन दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम इन मैरिज. एवरीवन वांट्स टू फाइंड द राइट मैच बिटवीन टू पीपल. दो लोग तो दुनिया में एक हो ही नहीं सकते. there all will always be some differences, always.
Yes,
And this so this becomes a very practical problem, जहाँ पे it's always going to be some mismatch between two people,
yes,
business partner हो या even teammates, even your employee. So Abhi, currently you have 30 employees. Do you ever face team conflicts between them, or you have well structured things to manage all this? I mean, have you ever faced लड़ाई कर लिया दो लोग या कुछ और हो गया, कोई किसी को कुछ बोल ही दिया,
Now we
harass
have
कर
a
दिया?
very, yeah, now we have a very well structured system here. So we usually don't come across any conflict of interest, but we encourage creative ideas. Oh, wow, sometimes when many new projects or new clients sign up with us, then we have a specific creative team for that. And we call for a board meeting or conference. And then we ask everyone, you can share your ideas freely. You should not think like that. Okay, I am a junior and he is my senior. If he is talking, then I should not talk. I cannot share my ideas. I said that. Okay, no. Whether you are senior or junior, there is nothing like that in our company. You can speak. You can come across. You can come up with many creative ideas, and we will definitely encourage that. And we do encourage that. We do select those ideas. We work on that, and we execute that. And after that, we found that yeah, even sometimes some interns come up with some good ideas, and when we execute that we found that wow, that was a good idea. And even due to that I have offered them full-time job to an intern, and then they are also working with me from the last 6 to 7 months. So that's how we encourage the creativity in our team and we avoid a conflict of interest.
Anyone want to ask any question, please?
Hey Sagar, Gaurav
Yes,
here.
Gaurav, please.
Sagar, what is your process of hiring and recruitment that you follow in a company?
Okay, so basically we have a HR manager in our company. Although in the final round, I always try to take the interviews myself because I definitely count whom we are hiring because I focus on that part very much. I believe that for a success of any company, the team strength or the skills of each employee is very much important. In my interviews, I have taken more than 400 plus interviews so far to hire these 30 plus best of the best people. And that time I have came across many people who say many things, but then they fail to deliver that thing after getting hired. Then that's why I don't go for the degrees and other things. Like if someone come to me and say that, sir, I am from IIM, I am from IIT, I have this degree, I have done this course, I have learned graphic designing from this institute, or whatever, I don't care. What exactly do you know? Do you understand? Are you passionate? If you are applying for the graphic designing position, are you passionate about graphic designing? Do you know how to design a logo? Do you know which colors go for a logo for this industry? If you are knowledgeable, even if you are a 12th class student, if you don't have any degree in graphic designing or whether it is digital marketing, we will recruit you. We'll definitely allow you to work with our company. And that's how we do.
Where from you get the candidates, Sagar? I mean, do you take external vendors or probably you do your own referencing? How you find these candidates?
We mostly recruit from Naukri.com and other places, but we don't work with any HR placement companies. We don't outsource the process.
Okay. So most of your employees are coming from Naukri.com or
Yeah,
Internshala also? Do
Naukri.com
you
and
use
other
Internshala?
places. Yeah, and we hire the interns from Internshala, but for full-time employees, we hire them for Naukri.com, LinkedIn. We use LinkedIn very wisely because we find that in LinkedIn we get more serious people than Naukri.com because in sometimes in Naukri.com people apply and then they forget about the company. But in LinkedIn, at least there are some serious people.
Okay. Yeah. So do you face this all the time? Like people apply and people forget what they applied
Yeah,
for
it
also.
happened many times. It happened many times. I have came across many
So you
people.
have to remind them that you applied for our company and this is what we
Yes,
do.
yes. Even I met with one guy and he started saying, "Yeah, मैंने जॉब के लिए अप्लाई किया था क्या? I cannot remember. अभी तो मुझे जॉब करना ही नहीं है ना. शायद मैंने जॉब के लिए अप्लाई कर दिया था. मुझे अभी याद नहीं आ रहा है." Like I know, like people are not serious all the times, but yeah, it happens. We also get good candidates sometimes, and that's better. We much need to avoid that.
Yeah. Shad wants to say something. Please, Shad.
Yes, hello to you all. Sagar, your story was very inspiring. Although I
Thank
too
you.
started my company in my city when I was 20, and I do the same work what you do. But I want to know something
Okay.
technically. What technology do you work on?
For web and app development.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for web and app development, when it comes to CMS, then we work on WordPress and Shopify. And when it comes to the custom coding, then we work with Laravel and Coordinator.
Okay. For there, is there any specific tools you work for reportings? रिपोर्टिंग आई वांट टू नो द रिपोर्ट जनरेट के लिए कोई एक्स्ट्रा टूल आप लोग यूज करते हो क्या?
For a website report or for a digital marketing report?
नो रिपोर्टिंग इन द सेंस वो वर्ड एक्सेल वाला नहीं, मतलब आप लोग अगर सीएमएस, हाँ नहीं हाँ मतलब अगर सीएमएस डिजाइन करते हो तो रिपोर्टिंग के लिए क्या टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करते हो?
We don't design CMS. We use WordPress and Shopify to build a website on CMS. We don't develop the CMS by ourselves. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Very good.
Yeah.
Sure. So Sagar, एक क्वेश्चन है मेरा, इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है.
Yeah,
I
sure.
have not seen a digital marketing company ad on Facebook. So why digital marketers don't do digital marketing of their own digital marketing company?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question actually. Yeah, even when I also started my journey, then I also had a thought, okay, like why don't I run ads for my own company in Google or Facebook? But the main reason behind this is the too much competition. It is a very tough competition. If we try to run the Google ads or maybe Facebook ads, the CPC is really high. Like you even cannot imagine, even for doing the SEO for any digital marketing agency, it's really hard. Still, SEO is still can be done, but for Google Ads and all this, it is very much costly, and the conversion ratio is not that much satisfied. So that's why finding leads through LinkedIn and using email outreach is much better idea. So that's why we focus on rest of the models of digital marketing instead of running ads on Google or Facebook.
So, but LinkedIn, you run ads or just
No, we
randomly
don't run
find
ads.
people?
We don't run ads. We do it completely organically.
Okay, so isn't it a paradox that way that being a digital marketing, you saying जो भी CPC high है etc. and not running it, so because of this high competition, so
Yes.
now think about a company which has such a high competition only, let's say a tech company or some kind of
Yeah.
company जो भी है मतलब थोड़ा सा let's say competitive company, a school, let's say all the schools are looking for admissions, coaching centers, it's very competitive, सब लोग का है, online tutoring, maybe some people are running some tutoring business etc. So in that case, I mean with this logic of yours, let's say when people see this video later, they will also, some of them also might say the same thing कि मेरी company भी तो, I mean the sector is very competitive, so just like your sector or similar, so my CPC will also go so high, so why should
Yes.
I hire a digital marketer when these things are happening? I will go the same way as you, something like that, or some kind of referral marketing maybe, or some other non-digital marketing ways there might be
Yes.
a lot of. So how do you, I mean, do you outrightly reject this kind of candidates? I mean, you never approach candidate who is as
Yeah.
competitive as digital marketing company, or I mean, how do you choose your client with this let's say the knowledge?
Okay, sure. So let me explain this. So the thing which I have said just a few minutes back, that we don't run ads because the CPC is high, because but that's not the most important reason behind it. The most important reason behind is that I believe digital marketing is not about only running ads on Facebook or LinkedIn or any other platform. It's not about advertisement campaign. There are lots of other components of digital marketing. There is influencer marketing, there is SEO, there is viral marketing, there is email outreaching, there is email marketing, and lots of things. So digital marketing is a very vast area. And ऐसा बात नहीं है कि हर कोई कंपनी को ऑल द मॉडल्स जो भी है डिजिटल मार्केटिंग का सब कुछ यूज करना पड़ेगा. Like it's not, it's like suppose if I talk about viral marketing works best for B2B companies of certain industries, but it will not obviously work with the B2B companies. There is a new concept in the market of meme marketing, and that is becoming crazy and it is getting viral. But obviously that cannot be done with many B2B companies. Like, there are few certain B2B companies because that will affect their brand. So obviously, not all the digital marketing strategies are made for all the companies. So we need to find out which strategy work best for me. Definitely, if I run ads, then I can get clients, but then the client acquisition cost will be higher than the one which I have right now. So being a digital marketer, or even if you're hiring any other digital marketer, his primary or main responsibility should be finding out the best digital marketing strategy where you can get more clients at less cost. So if for in your industry, it may happen that Facebook ads is the best way to do it. But in some other industry, Google ads would be the best way to do it. In some other industry, maybe both Facebook and Google ad which not the best choice. Maybe for that LinkedIn outreaching or LinkedIn organic marketing is the best choice. So for every industry or for every company, even I would rather be more specific, for every company, the strategy should be different. In our company, we use a different strategy, but maybe in your company, it will be different.
Sure. Anyone else want to say something, please, or ask something? Comment on digital marketing. So, okay, I'll ask a very open question. So, as you said, this digital marketing is kind of a ocean of options. You know, like so many options are there, and
Yes.
and I also see a lot of people claim to be digital marketer, and then they sometimes come to me that, please refer someone to me.
Yes,
So,
yes, it happens.
so for a digital marketer, finding a client is not so easy. Is that something you agree? I mean, because you said at some point you have, almost 8 crore, so like a like 1 crore
So
or something, right?
actually, yeah, I don't believe that finding a client for digital marketing is tough because like website development and digital marketing, these two industries are always booming. Why? Because always new companies are getting developed, new companies are getting bigger, and obviously they need someone for digital marketing. So it's like a never ending demand. Yeah, the demand will be always there in the market, but it's just you need to be the perfect, you need to have the perfect team, and you need to know the strategy how to approach the clients. Always we need to remember one thing when we are approaching a certain company, maybe if we are approaching a real estate group, and now that particular person is getting calls like yours on like 10 to 20 calls every day, and why will they entertain you? Because they are worried, like just like a credit card system nowadays, the digital marketing, the calls are also getting very much boring. Like someone calls them and, sir, are you looking for a digital marketing company? Sir, do you want leads? They said no, I don't want, and then they hang up the call. So there is always a better way to approach them, and if you can convince them properly, if you can pitch, and if you can show them what result you can bring, even if they are running some digital marketing campaigns, but maybe that is not optimized fully. So if you can show them how optimization or how running digital marketing campaigns increase their revenue and how much ROAs or ROI they can get from this, I don't like, everybody likes more money, everybody likes more revenue. So obviously they will be interested, and then you will not face much difficulties to get more clients. Even nowadays, it often happens that we get more clients than our capacity, and we have to deny some projects because we cannot take it, because we focus on the quality instead of quantity. We don't want to take hundreds of projects in a single month and deliver unsatisfied result. We want to work with a few selected companies and want to make them big. That's a vision we have in our company.
Sure. How do you manage this price war? Because of such a competitive nature of the business, the pricing can be very sensitive factor at times. Somebody offering 20,000, somebody said, okay, I'll offer the same thing for 19,000. So it's pretty much like a live bidding going on for the client. So do you have any strategy? Because I'll tell you a strategy जो बहुत सारी कंपनीज नहीं स्टोर्स फॉलो करते हैं. एक सामान को बहुत सस्ता कर देते हैं कि लोग एटलीस्ट उनके स्टोर पे आ जाए, उनसे रिलेशन स्टार्ट हो जाए, then they start pitching other products, you know, sir you can do this or you can do upgrade etc,
Yeah.
or buy one get one free, जो भी है मतलब वो ले दे के cost is obviously adjusted somewhere. So do you, I mean, how do you handle this, or what advice would you have for this price thing? I mean, should we try to charge premium to people, should we not charge premium? Like जियो वाला भी एग्जांपल दिया तुमने
Yes.
कि पहले फ्री दे के ये करो वो करो, उसमें भी
Yeah.
लोगों ने थोड़ा सा ऊपर नीचे बोला. या प्लीज कमल मैम, यू वांट टू ऐड टू द क्वेश्चन प्लीज.
No, I mean, I just wanted to understand कि मतलब वही strategy जैसे आप पूछ रहे थे उतना ही था, but I had a follow-up question after he answers this.
Okay, all right. So still you have given a very good example actually. So define आपने बोला कि 20,000 or 90,000, that's still a good number, because I have faced many situations where the client is saying almost 70% defines. Like I have pitched them for 15,000 rupees service, just giving an example, and then they said maybe some other freelancer or maybe some other company approached them to do the same work at 5,000 rupees. But one thing, if you notice properly, there will be a difference between the 5,000 rupees work and a 15,000 rupees work. So obviously, nobody can give that work, the same quality of work at such a low price. There must be a standard. But now sometimes some client don't understand that, and then they fall into many scams like that. And then after a few months, they come back to us and say, Sagar, you told me right. I did a major mistake and I wasted my 5,000 rupees, and now again I need to pay 15,000. So altogether, I ended up paying 20,000. I should have been signed up with you 1 month back. That would save both my money and time. So in this case, we don't compromise our service quality for money or for getting more clients. We never say that, oh okay, आपका तो वो 5,000 में दे रहा है, चलो मैं आपको 6,000 में कर दूंगा, चलो मैं आपको 4,000 में कर दूंगा. We don't say that, because we have trust on our service. We believe only one thing: if that person is paying me 15,000 or maybe 20,000, we will make them at least 50,000 or 1 lakh rupees after a month. Because in most of the cases, our clients get 8x to 10x ROI. So if they are, once they figure it out, okay, if I pay them 50,000 rupees and I can get 5 lakhs return in a month, then who doesn't like that? That's how we don't compromise our quality for getting more clients and providing down our premium.
Yes, Kamal,
Okay, on
please.
yeah, on that note only, like see, you said that you are the only owner. So you have any advisors, or do you have anyone who helps you or who guides you in pricing a project? Or you do a pilot and consult with your consultants and then come up with a price. So how do you manage pricing, or how are you planning on other things as well, like strategy or growth into certain companies or opening an office in another country or something? So do you have any advisor with you, or you like how do you plan to go about? Because generally when such big decisions are involved, people would want to consult, people would want to check. So how
Yes.
do you plan? Because you're like, if there are 2 3 founders, one founder, two co-founders, etc., then it's much easier. So how do you plan to do all that?
Okay. So I am a guy who basically prioritizes research and analysis. I truly believe in that. We should, like, that's a mistake which I did in my first startup or the second startup. I didn't make enough market research, as I told you a few minutes back. So from that time, I learned one thing, that I need to research properly. I need to know about the industry. Then I can learn. Once I learn about the industry, then I can work on that industry. So whenever I take any project from any client, then I myself learn about that industry, as well as I also ask my entire team that you should learn about that industry, you should research more about that industry. You should, first of all, you need to find out who are their competitors. You need to do proper competitor research analysis, and based on that you need to know how is the industry stand, because sometimes it happens that sometimes a e-commerce client is approaching us, or maybe some other clients are approaching us, and that time the industry is not in a uptrend, industry is in the downtrend. Obviously they will not able to make much money, because the whole industry is not booming that time, the demand is not there. So in that case, the strategy will be defined. I'm not saying that the company cannot run, but the strategy will be defined, because in that case, we need to create the demand. We need to make that uptrend. So for every company, first of all, we do a major research, and then my teammates are like the advisors for me. As I said, I don't have any co-founder right now, but my all of the employees of Squash Code, they are like my co-founders, they are like my family. I often discuss with them, as I told 2 minutes back, we arrange a board meeting, and then we ask for, yeah, you can share your ideas. You can say what you have learned from your research, and then you can add some points. And from that brainstorming session, we often come up with many, many good ideas and unique ideas.
Sure. Regarding this pricing, okay, last question probably. I personally find this pricing strategy to be, one of the hardest, or maybe the hardest at times, especially if the product is, quite unique and not never before kind of thing. So in your case, probably you had, more competitions. So because of this competition, I often tell people it's probably easier to launch a competition than to launch a very innovative idea, because that innovation you don't know probably how much to price, or it
Yes.
might take forever to decide कितने में बेचना है या कितने में स्टार्ट करना है, what pricing trend to follow, like Geo followed free this, right? I mean, it was like a whole disruption, it's like one third, one fourth of whatever existed before. So this pricing, like in your case, like because you also ran two startups before which had team conflicts, how what's your advice regarding pricing strategy of products or services from your point of view? What would you like to probably tell the budding entrepreneurs or the college going students, school going students, how to price something, please?
So for, as everybody knows, that startup comes with from a problem. Every startup is trying to solve a certain problem. So they need to understand which problem they are ultimately solving, and what is the size of that problem. How many people is having that problem? Is it like only 10,000 people, or is it like only 10 people, or is it 10 millions of people is having the same problem? And how much serious is the problem? Like, are they really looking for a solution, or your product is like something giving some luxury? Like, they don't need it, but they may need it just for some interest or something like that. So if your product is a necessity based product, if you launch your product or service in the market, and that is going to cover a huge problem that is coming as a solution, then you must know that what is the actual value of your solution, because ultimately you are not selling a product or service, you are selling a solution. And obviously you need to also understand what is the demographics of your target audience. Suppose if you are running that, or if you are offering that product or service in metro cities, the income, the annual income or the spending capacity of the people in metro cities will be much higher than the people who are into the semi-urban areas or the rural places. So suppose if you offered something at 10,000 rupees, at 20,000 rupees in tier 2 or tier 3 cities, obviously that is the salary of the guy of the whole month, maybe in most of the cases. So you need to understand how much is the spending capacity of your customer, and then you need to keep that pricing in that level. Obviously you cannot charge the maximum amount in the first day or in the first month, because you need to create a demand. You need to like, of course you need to keep one thing in your mind: the first 100 customer is going to be like a beta tester for your product or service, because they're the first people who are going to try it out, and you need to give them some discount so that they can adapt that. And once they adapt it, and if your solution is really good, automatically they will share it with their friends, they will talk about it. And once the buzz is there in the market, then you can increase your price, and then you can add some more models. Then you can also add premium model or something like that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to have any comment or questions? Last question maybe. All good. Okay, Sagar, it was great talking to you and listening to your problems and how you solved and how
Thank
you
you so
developed
much
so
for
fast.
having me today.
Very inspiring indeed.
Thank you, Kamal.
Inspiration for all the teenagers also, and you should, we should do more. I mean, you should do more of your
So
stories with teenagers also. Yes, Atul sir, you wanted to
before
answer?
you go, what help do you need, Sagar, from others in the community, in the startup community?
I will ask for one help that is not for myself, that is for themselves actually, that is for the entire startup community. Nowadays, the startup world or the entrepreneur world is like a fancy word. Nowadays, everyone want to be an entrepreneur, everyone want to start something, everyone want to be having a startup. But it's not that much easy. I'm not making you scared, but one thing I'm trying to tell you that just like a few years back, you should not be like that. You should not follow your friend just because he's becoming musician. You should not go into singing. Just because he's becoming doctor, you should not become a doctor. And same here, just because my life story was interesting, just because I achieved so much thing, just because I am earning so much amount, you should not directly jump into the startup industry, or you should not jump into digital marketing industry. Find out what exactly you want. Maybe you can earn, you can get more success from your passion. Maybe if you want to be a stand-up comedian, and if you focus on that, maybe you can become more popular, you can become achieve more success than me in that certain industry. But don't jump into any certain industry and waste your life and waste others' life as well, because a startup is like a lifelong journey. So think wisely before starting something, before joining something, and if you have the passion about it, you will be successful. Nobody can stop you.
No, Sagar, so I understand all of that. Good. I completely agree with all of that. What my question is, everybody in the world needs help. God included. Bill Gates also needs help. Elon Musk also needs help. So what is the help Sagar Mandal needs is the question.
For
For
your
me,
startup or individual level also, you could say. I
for
mean,
myself,
do you want anything
spreading
support or
out the
something?
good words about squash code, sharing squash code with your friends and those people who really are looking for digital marketing agencies and who want to grow their startup or companies. And that will be really helpful for us, definitely.
Okay, yeah, now that's more helpful. That's more specific. That for your digital marketing company, you need help to spread the word around in the target audience. What? Okay, now that sounds. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So yeah,
Reach out
so
to
we
me.
can.
I help. I help a lot of startups too. Many non-profit, many I run. So reach out to me. Happy to help you in any way, spreading your word.
Sure, definitely. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you everyone for the Startup Night Out attendance. So see you all next Friday for the next Startup Night Out with a new guest. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sagar. Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye. Good night.